There is a fire in the air today. Well, actually, it's most of the week. It's sharp, it's focused, and it's impossible to ignore. Our words will carry weight, and our actions will create ripples. The energy asks us to say what needs to be said, to do what needs to be done, and to trust that our voice, our actions, when they are rooted in wisdom, in patience, become some of the most powerful tools for courage and strength to ignite within us, moving us forward. Okay, so let's break down that energy together. We'll start with the numerology, then we'll visit astrology. Today we have Mars and Mercury conjunct in Scorpio, so big news, and this is what's going to carry the whole week for us. The energy is strong, it's potent. They meet in the sky at 18 degrees. I'm getting ahead of myself. So after the astrology, we will turn to the cards. But first, thank you. Thank you for being here, for your love, for your time, for your support. And my hope is that by the end of our time together here, you leave with the tools, the insight, the wisdom, so that you can go forward with a confidence, with clarity, with love. So hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Welcome to your Daily Focus, October the 20th, 2025. So today we have the energy of the 20, and that's about turning points. That's about forks in the road. That's where all of a sudden we have to make a decision. Which side of the fence are we going to be on? What road do we take? So decisions, or at least we are looking at it. Now, we have a new moon tomorrow, so we could be definitely making plans for new shifts in our reality, in our path. And so it could be kind of spontaneous within your heart, within your mind. Actually, I'm thinking about the numerology. It probably will be. It'll be a transformation and allowing curiosity to lead our hearts. But I'm getting way ahead of myself now. 2 plus 0. 2 plus 0 is a 2. And the 2 is to understand that you have magic within you. Magic that you have not utilized, that you have not touched, or you have not grown, honed in on. Okay? We all have these gifts, and it's not supernatural. It's very natural to have some sort of psychic ability, if not several. And it's not, I've said it, I've given readings to people, and they've said things back to me, and I would tell them, like, you're psychic, right? Like, you know that you can foresee the problem and see the path forward clearly for others. Like, that, right? So, and they have no idea because they've never looked within to really understand their own personal magic, whatever that might be. It might be a talent, an ability. And of course, under 2 energy, it is about coming together. It is about working in harmony. It is about creating balance in our life. It is about making decisions, partnership. If we look at the daily numerology, it would be a 1 plus a 2 plus a 9. That gives us a 12 energy. The 12 energy is more of a be in the moment kind of energy. Once again, we are being asked to be more present, more in the moment, not looking too far ahead. Of course, dreaming big, but not looking too far ahead, nor are we looking so much in the past. Unless we are looking to see our accomplishments and what has gotten us to this point now in time. The 12 energy is about looking at our situations and the events happening in our life and detaching from the emotion of those things and seeing the right way forward. that it's a win-win situation, that everybody gains, everybody is gifted through your words, through your actions, through your decisions. It goes very strongly with the astrology today. So 1 + 2 is a 3, and the 3 energy is about transformation. It's about letting our, it's today, it's about letting our hearts be led with curiosity, to follow our intuition a little bit, to believe in ourselves and our knowledge and our wisdoms and the questions we pose to ourselves, that they are valid. Okay, astrology. Sun is in Libra. Moon is in Libra, moving closer and closer to the sun for our new moon tomorrow, right? So, but today we have Mercury conjunct Mars. It is in Scorpio. It is at 18 degrees. And this is an event that it sharpens our mind. It speeds up our words and actions. It brings in conviction, passion, focus. And it also reveals how easily intensity can slip into impatience. Okay, when our thoughts and emotions merge this tightly, this quickly, it's not just a spark here. It's a bonfire, for goodness sakes. We feel like we have to respond in the moment, right now. That we can't, leave it for even a second. Whether it's in our words or our actions, we're going to want to just say it. Just do it. So, how do we use this energy? My dad pops in. So let's go with the blacksmith. My father was a blacksmith. So, and he used to, well, I remember when I was a little girl, he was going for his test to be a blacksmith at that time. So I got to hold the color chart of the different colors of the flame and the degrees it had. And then there was a paragraph for how easily the metal would bend and twist and how much of a twist you could give it under this kind of temperature. And, and there was blues and purples and yellows and reds and oranges, and it was just just gorgeous, the chart color. But anyways, I'm getting off here. But it's the heat that softens the metal. Okay, but really, to be a blacksmith, it's a delicate balance of fire and force. Okay, that what we are doing in our life, the steps we are taking, the words we are saying, are things that are strong, that are useful, that move us forward. Okay, and that's where we are today, and will be for the entire week, up to Friday for sure. I'm not sure if it trails into the weekend. I don't think so, though. But it will be very potent when we talk about the new moon, this transit, okay, because it's happening at that time. So, now we can use this power to cut through confusion, to express what we really mean, to make decisions that maybe we've been putting off. But, the messages I'm here to remind you that every word we speak, every action we take will create a ripple. Okay, our conversations may feel more direct. People may speak from emotion rather than being polite. And emotions may spike quite quickly, the good and the bad. Okay, we have this urge within us to set things straight. But it's only powerful if we then take a step back, which is going to be very difficult under this energy. But to think about what you need to say or what you need to do and what is the best outcome. And how can I achieve that? Through my words, through my actions. And if something needs to be said, then this is an energy to say it. And if something needs to be done, then this is an energy to do it. But we need to take that breath first. We need to ask ourselves, what is my goal here? Do I want to be right, heard? Do I want to hurt? Do I want peace, harmony, love? Do I want to prove a point? That small pause we take makes all the difference, because when our words and our actions come from wisdom, not the tension, we become unstoppable. We become steady, centered, confident, calm, and our focus is razor sharp today. So, utilize it in making progress on work that requires some kind of strategy or courage. Asking for what you're worth, launching an idea, setting a healthy boundary. It's about aligning our effort with intention. And when you know what you stand for, decisions become effortless, so long as we take the time to think things through. I need a sip here. I didn't have it closed in all the way. Oh well. Okay. Um, what else can I tell you? Watch your temper. Okay, tempers can flare. Once we say it, once we do it, it cannot be undone. Once a word is spoken, or you've taken that action, it travels farther than you may think it will in the moment. So make sure it carries the right message. Stay aware today to our own actions, to our own words, our thoughts. And we could definitely be on the receiving end of this, okay? So understand that in part it is the energy forcing them to, do the standoff with you on something that disgruntles them, something that they have to settle in the moment with you. They can't let it go another day, another minute, okay? And either way, whether or not we're just dishing it out or we are receiving it from somebody else, we have that urge to react. Okay, and that urge to react, that is your signal. That is your signal to pause, to breathe. Okay, to take the time to respond with wisdom. And mental exhaustion. I could see mental exhaustion coming out of this. We're overstimulated, we're anxious, we're nervous. Silence and stillness are our allies. So, like the 12 energy asks us to be present in the moment. So, just a couple of. Now, the secret with that is we exhale for twice as long as we inhale. So, you can inhale for 4, and then you can either hold for 4 and then exhale for 8, or just exhale for 8, okay, or even 6. And that is actually a subconscious command we give our brains that it's time to settle down, it's time to go to sleep, it's time to get relaxed. So any anxious moments, just taking a couple of deep breaths. That's why we give you the paper bag too, right? So you start slowing down your breathing. Anyways, there I go, right? Off on another tangent. At least I'm noticing them now. Now I have to get ahead of them, right? Yeah, we don't want to be loud. We don't want to be disruptive. We don't want to be argumentative, although those are things that could easily come out of us for this week, this whole week. Okay, we want to speak and act with a wisdom, with a truth, with integrity. So this is an energy of movement, yes, but honesty as well. Integrity as well. Okay, it sharpens our insight. It gives us the courage to act. But it also asks us to stay conscious of our tone, of our timing, of our intent. And when our thoughts, when our words, our actions align, we become unstoppable. So as you walk through your week this week, speak clearly and act wisely. And remember, your voice carries power, but it's your heart that gives it purpose. Okay, let's go to the cards. Who do we have there? Oh, look at that. The King of Pentacles was at the bottom. I remembered to look. The King of Pentacles. Wise, rich. Richest king in the deck. Goes by the traditional and, yeah, the traditional way. The tried and true. But to be innovative at the same time. So where can our voice put into action some of our greatest passions, desires? We do have a new moon that we are working under. We'll talk a lot more about that energy and how to tap into it. Okay, let's shuffle. Oh, some cards decided to stay behind last minute. I wonder what that's all about. Okay, well, look who comes out. Our underlying energy. Boy, he really wanted to speak to us today. He wants us to say to walk with a sense of integrity, to think it through, to act more with wisdom and logic than emotion and feeling, but yet to not make yourself cold and unapproachable. Rather, to be very innovative with how you utilize the tried and the true. How you use it for your benefit. What are the risks? We weigh out the risks with this king. We want to ground ourselves so we can build upon our successes. Five of Wands, play nicely with others. You know, we all have talents. No man's an island. So we could probably, if we could work together today, if we could give people the space to show themselves to us so that we can see them, we can hear them, we can understand them better, learn from them, and teach them at the same time. This is almost like light competition too. Maybe you're competing with yourself. I hope you're competing with yourself because that's the only one you can compete with, truly. If you compare yourself to others, you'll always find somebody who is faster and smarter and braver and more courageous and whatever it might be. Better at swimming, better at driving, better at golfing. There will always be somebody better. And so if we measure ourselves to others, we will never find the success that we crave. We need to measure ourselves to ourselves of where we are now and where we will have that next, celebration day of accomplishing this or that or the other thing. And so getting out there and trying things with a little bit of fun, laughter, know that you're connected with these people in some way, in some form. That there's a part of you in them and that there's a part of them in you. And to learn from them and to grow with them. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Love the Queen of Wands because she is the judge and jury. She really does ask the qualifying questions in order to come to some form of understanding so she can make a decision. And then she is like, let's get going on it. Let's move forward. Let's try this. Let's try that. And she doesn't really count a failure as a failure. A failure is not a failure unless you throw in the towel and you quit. Then, okay. But in sales, there's 99 no's and there's got to be a yes, right? And 100 asks. So, I only have 57 more to go. But if you start looking at it that way, great, I got a no. That makes me one step closer to the yes. I got another no. That makes me one step closer to the yes. If you start thinking that way, okay, it will never take you 99 tries. It will never take you 99 tries. Okay, she's thinking on her feet. She's looking at where she can be, use her intuitiveness or perhaps her innovation, following her gut. Very much with any queen, we are following our emotion, our heart center, our intuition. And we have the Seven of Cups back, and this is a time to, really right before a new moon, of course. What are your wishes? What are your dreams? What are your goals? Okay, what are the promises you are making to yourself about how this time it's going to be different, or this time you are going to apply yourself in this way, and just see what happens. Just test it out. Take it for a test ride to see how it feels. Is this a true representation of you? Or could it be? Do you want it to be? Whether it's career, family, community, job settings. What are your aspirations? What are your desires? Set your dreams in motion. That's what I'm hearing. Set your dreams in motion. So, little sticky notes. I don't know, a napkin. Okay, are you sitting having you got your earbuds in? You got your phone and you're listening to me while you're eating or having your lunch or your dinner or your breakfast? Okay, on the napkin, write out 9 wishes, goals for different parts of your life: your health, your well-being, your spirituality, career, family, relationships, platonic and romantic. You know, it's okay if you lose it. We just want to make a list of 9. Okay, what card do we have? Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. So when you make that wish list, nothing is impossible. We've had this card already before. Gosh, was it yesterday or on the weekend? Nothing is impossible. And that's what I like about this deck is you do get repeats more than you get a new card every day. Move the deck over and there we go. A prop. Okay, there we are. Okay, open to the unexpected, you will find a way. Sometimes path appear in the most unexpected places. Barriers that we previously believed were in our way suddenly roll away and assist us on our journey. Obstacles that we thought were stopping us from progressing create detours that lead us to unexpected destinies. This card in this deck, this is that card in this deck. The one that encourages you to turn your gaze upward and believe in the impossible. And things may not turn out the way you thought they would, or even the way you hoped they would. However, in the end, it's very possible that they turn out better than you could have imagined. Many faith paths urge us to embrace life's changes and trust that if something is for us, it cannot be taken from us. For our destiny, when embraced, is written in stone. If life hasn't been going to plan, fret not, because things are being woven together on your behalf. Your path and your desires have not been forgotten. They are just a little different from what you thought. Have faith, trust, and an open mind and heart. You'll find a way through it, and in a day not too distant, you'll see how life has been unfolding for you every step of the way. Our ancient stone's activation is I open my mind and heart to the unexpected. Everything working out on my behalf. Everything is working out on my behalf. That's a beautiful affirmation to start your day with. Okay, let's go to our higher intuitions, oracle cards, our animals. I kid you not. Practice patience. Practice patience. This is a good day to remind us. One of the things that we need to keep front and center this this entire week is practicing our patience, because I think it will be tested in many different ways and forms as we walk through. Okay, let's hold up the Raven for you. Truthfulness, patience, and believe. Patience is waiting, not passively waiting. That's laziness. But to keep going when the going is hard and slow. That is patience. Raven reminds you that this situation involves a whole lot of patience. A matter has recently arisen, and it affects your ability to be truthful with yourself along with others. Raven speaks the truth with love and patience. Don't mind the time or fear you're running out of time. Instead, believe that what you want to have happen will happen, but it does take time. No matter the category of life that you require patience in, love, finances, career, or health, it would benefit you not to focus on the clock, but instead to work at building a strong foundation around you. It is at the right time, and you will know when that time happens, and you will fly again. And you may not know all the factors yet that are preventing your wishes from coming true, and you don't need to. You only need to believe that the moon will light the way that will help guide Raven to the right place at the right time. I think it was Sylvia Brown was talking the one day about, losing that anxious feeling of finding that person that is going to walk the rest of your path with you. You're looking for a relationship, and yet nothing is really out there. You don't meet anybody. You don't, and there are things, but I think it was Sylvia Brown who said, sometimes you've already done everything you're supposed to. So stop beating yourself up. Did you ever think it was them and they weren't facing some of the darker shadows within? And that was preventing them from coming into your life because they weren't allowed to bring that baggage to you to be a part of your relationship going forward. So maybe it's their fault that you haven't met them yet, and hopefully they'll, get their act together and hurry it up and you'll meet. But all in its own divine timing. So practice patience. Just believe. Just believe. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.